In this podcast, we look back at the month of January, and both myself and Dave feel that this is just as important as the guides which we're sharing with you, which is the journey of UnderstandingE, the journey of myself, Matt, and the journey of Dave. You'll also hear how we ended up being nominated for the Real Business Future 50 Awards for new UK businesses. We loved what they openly stated, what they were looking for, which was the most exciting, most disruptive early stage businesses. Also in this podcast, we ask each other, what do you feel that you could have done better? So Dave, let's talk about day one. That was a panic station.
That was a fun one, wasn't it? New Year's Day. Yeah, so I remember I remember New Year's Eve. We were both on Skype on the website getting the pages in place at 10 to 12 on New Year's Eve, midnight. I nipped out briefly to go and celebrate and then came back, and you only knew that it was New Year's because you heard the fireworks going off, isn't that right?
Yeah, I think my world just wholly erupted because everybody in my entire neighbourhood just went mental with fireworks, and paused for a few moments and had a cup of coffee and watched all the fireworks out the bedroom window. It was amazing.
So an interesting one was the day before we launched. So on New Year's Eve, we actually moved web hosts. Now that was a brave move, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was about 11. It was about 10:30.
Yeah.
It's like, Dave, this isn't working out. It's not fast enough.
Yeah, we need to put it on simple servers.
Yeah, it's going to stick it on simple servers. And we did. And thankfully, now looking back, it was probably like the best move we've made. We've done oodles this month. But looking back, that was probably the smartest move that we made.
I think it was a good move, yeah. Because getting onto some figures, on day one, we had 1,736 unique visitors. That's pretty incredible in its own right, but considering that we didn't release any guides until at least 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was a bank holiday.
It was a bank holiday, and most people had a hangover, and that was just blew us away. That was for basically what was in new site. Yeah, we had it up a couple of weeks before, months before, but basically it was a brand new website, and I don't know anybody personally who can say that brand new website launch over 1,000, or let alone 100 unique visitors for day one. And that's you listening to this. Thank you. That without you being around and following myself and Dave, then that day one would have just never have been so big as it had been. And for that, thank you. We can't say thank you enough, I don't think.
Yeah, no, definitely. It was, I couldn't believe the numbers on the second when we look back, and you said I couldn't believe there were unique visitors. That was crazy. And I think an interesting point is looking back on the 1st of January, we launched with the Getting Started guides and the M2E Pro Setup guides. And I think in total there was about 35.
It was something like that, wasn't it?
And since then, throughout this month, we've added 29 more.
Dave, just to put this in perspective, we had done 35 guides, and that had taken us 4 months.
Yeah, to take us 3 or 4 months. Yeah, we started early September.
And it had taken us that long. And then in the space of, at the moment, we're in that kind of world of days. Within like a matter of days, we managed to bulk that up. Because what's the date today? We're recording this on the 30th of January.
Yeah.
And over the space of a period of days, we managed to add in 29 more as well. That's just an amazing feat. And again, this is what this podcast is about. It's for us to just pause and reflect on what we've actually achieved this month. And I think we did really well there, Dave. That was just
I think we did. We launched the importing guides, so for importing into Magento. And we had a lot of success there with MagMe and what you'd done there.
Oh, that just went so well. And Sebastian, thank you. Hat tip to you for creating MagMe. It's absolutely amazing. And I didn't kind of realise the kind of impact that would have outside of UnderstandingE, because MagMe's never been documented like that before. Nobody's gone to that kind of level. And it's really obvious that nobody has, because I know from the web stats, and I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to web stats, and I know that where a fair proportion of the traffic has come from, and it has been related to MagMe because there isn't anything else out there, and I'd like to do some more public stuff with MagMe as well. And when I say public, I mean YouTube work. Oh, we also launched the listing template guides and the listing template builder, which is well cool.
Yeah, we've had some fantastic feedback about the listing template builder and how easy it is. And I think, just thinking outside the box here, Matt, is we've seen quite a lot of successes just by de-nerding some of the nerdy stuff. So with the MagMe thing, I think we saw huge success with that because I think we're the first people to take the nerd element away from MagMe as much as is possible while leaving the core of it there.
Yeah, and I think that for Magento too is that I was chatting to Dimitri today. He says, look, Matt, I've never come across anything like this before. What you guys are creating just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And they're right, because Magento is normally in the realms of developer kind of territory, and it's this big beast, which it is. But it doesn't need to be that way. It can be simple. It can be straightforward if you treat it like an elephant and a big barbecue, which is that you can't eat the elephant in one great big go. You just go and take your spoon
chop
or
its
your
leg off.
chop its leg off and have a munch away.
And it's the same with the listing template builder. We took away the HTML aspect and the CSS of it. It was literally just a case of fill in a few fields and click generate, copy and paste, and away you go.
Job done for it. And we did notice one of the other providers doing a mail shot out there saying that if you sign up with us, then you can get this template for 250 quid. And we were going, what? You really pay 250 quid for that? Nah, you could have this one for free, and it's a million times better. That's the subject completely differently for a different day. We also launched the supplementary guides, which is like the beginning of all those little extra guides, because we did, what was it, the how to cope with selling limits on eBay as well. And again, it was just we hit it in the training guides when we tried launching those boots. It said something about selling limits. Oh, okay, we tried listing above our 100 limit. Thanks, eBay.
Yeah.
But for you guys is that we hit that and we kind of jotted it down to look at, and I was actually waiting for something externally to go on so that because I kind of knew about these settings, but I didn't want to tread on someone else's toes. So once I knew that had been launched and their business was going, then it was time for us to do our version of that because it is like built-in functionality of M2E Pro. You can manage your stock levels and you can put caps on them, and that's why we shared it with you. And that supplementary section is going to get big. In fact, and it's going to get really big, and we're going to have to start paginating it into
different pages. Sections and subtopics, maybe. I mean, because we've also, I think a nice win as well is we've taken, is it now 3 or 4 topics that have been asked in the forums and created dedicated videos for them, which are in the supplementary section. And
again, that's something I'd really like to do. And again, that's why I'm concerned about that supplementary guide section, because it is going to shout quite quickly.
Yeah, that's a good problem.
It's a good problem to have. Okay, so what else has happened this month, Dave?
So we also had a post-launch catch-up meeting with eBay, who I think they were really pleased or really surprised with the numbers that we managed to give them, and in terms of what we'd been up to. And we also had a brief chat about what we could be expecting to see in March with eBay's spring updates.
Yeah, and if you sell on eBay, then twice a year, then eBay are very, very good at this compared to another marketplace beginning with Amazon. eBay play fair in this world, and they'll release updates twice a year, once in March and then in September time as well. So we've got those coming up. So just on working off history, March and September, you should be expecting some updates coming through, and we'll cover those off once we know more. We also had a complete redesign of the site, didn't we?
We did. We got, we're always asking for comments and feedback, and there was one feedback in particular, and I believe it was Jono. Was it Jono?
It was Jono.
And he basically said that he couldn't keep track of which guides he'd seen and which guides he hadn't seen. And, we went, Yes, that is definitely a problem. And we put down tools, didn't we? We put a plan in action.
2:00 on that Friday night. This isn't right. Leave it with me, Dave. I think is what I said.
Yeah, something like that. You had an idea what to use. We'd actually asked a good friend of ours.
Yeah, Rob Cubban. You'll meet Rob.
It's some coming guides, yeah.
Yeah, that needs to go at the bottom of our little list, which we're using as notes. Yeah, I'm a bit worried about next month, because if we've gone this fast this month, next month's
got less days.
Oh no, we've been shortchanged.
I know, yeah. Anyway, back on topic. Yeah, so we completely redesigned the course structure, or the guide structure, and yeah, that was a fun one.
3 days we did that in. That was unreal. I don't think I slept hardly at all in those days.
Well, you don't sleep.
Yeah. In fact, we had that little joke on Skype, didn't we?
We did, yeah. You were Mr. Insomnia.
Yeah, and so let's have the battle so you can stay out the longest. I said, I don't think you'll win.
I just said, no, I'm nowhere near going to having a weight contest with Matt Ogbon. That's just not. I know to pick my fights, and that was not a winnable one.
Yeah, I mean, last time I tried it, I did 72 hours, and I was like poo afterwards.
I can't do 7 hours.
I did so much. Those were probably like the most productive 72 hours I have ever had, because it was brute force to do with the UnderstandingE project, and this was back in, I think it was October, November time last year, and I got so much done. But I did actually make myself ill on the Sunday and wipe myself out for a day. So
well, that's it. It's risk and reward.
Yeah, indeed.
What else did we do? We had enormous headaches with bank accounts, and this is not something that we ever get to involve with publicly, is talking about the business side of things in the back end. And I think this has been one of my major headaches these past few weeks. Is Matt is fantastic with the coding stuff, and he can do things which I just cannot do in terms of developing the site and things like that. So I've tried as much as possible to take up some of the headaches with the admin side of the back end, the business stuff. And yeah, we just struggled like mad. When you're dealing with such big businesses, I don't know, part of me expects things that they should know how to operate, and things should be quite fluid, but my God, it's just not that way.
It's not that way, and you've probably been there as well. If you're listening to this too,
yeah, exactly. We're preaching to the converted. You've all set up bank accounts and registered businesses and spoken to accountants and all that sort of stuff, which in our opinion detracts from us actually making great content. But it's almost like a necessary evil.
Yeah, and this is why what I said was that if I was ever to start another business again, I would have to do it with somebody else.
Yeah.
Because...
so they can worry about this.
It's just been like, Dave, just sort that out.
Yeah.
Tell me where to sign, and I'm happy. And there's just a huge trusting in there. Yeah, and I'm just going like, Dave, sort it out. That stuff, give me the stuff which I'm interested in, and I'll excel in. This other stuff, this mustard stuff... Dave?
Yeah, I think that's it, is it? I think that's probably why we do complement each other quite well. You are so on a different level in terms of the website and developing, and your ideas are mental. And maybe I'm just more the sort of the business background. I want everything to be, structured in the right way, and I'll spend time trying to sort that admin side of it out. Mm-hmm. I think it's worked quite well so far.
It's done. And again, premium's still a problem for us right now.
Yeah.
We've got the developers from the back-end system looking at our site right today. And in fact, I've seen an email pop up here in the background. And that does link into some stuff which I did on the site. I got the site page load times down to about 2.1 to 2.3 seconds.
Yeah.
Because we are dealing with, you're dealing with e-commerce, and when it comes to e-commerce, speed is so important. And our website pages right now, they load between about 4.5 to about 4.5 to about 4.6 seconds, and that's all right. But I want to be in like the 2 second range. And this is me being like, this is what it needs to be. How do I get to it? And I'm going to push simple service to the max of what we can do with shared web hosting. And again, we chose shared web hosting, so for the first month or so, the web hosting wouldn't be a problem for us, but we will be looking to up what we're doing, and it looks like we'll probably stay with simple service to what we're going to be doing. Oh, we also implemented a content delivery network on the site as well, so that if you are in Europe, you're in Australia, or if you're in the United States, that the site is being delivered back to you so much faster. And that's something which we'll show you how to do with your Magento site as well. And we are using a paid service, something called Max CDN. And Dave, I've had my nerd hat on and I'm going to shut up.
I was just thinking, Matt's gone off on one. He's talking about load times and developers and things.
Yeah, and it's
only fair. I had my bit about business stuff, so yeah, crack on.
Sorry. And again, it's the bits which I'm passionate about. I want to share with you, and I want to numb it down to plain English. So when I mention content delivery network, you're not going, what
is that?
Yeah, get me that degree in nerd. Where are you? Kind of thing. It's just the whole ethos of this. Just numb it down to plain English so that anybody and you can pick it up and understand it. So moving on, we're still planning. I still need to do the slide deck for this, and we've got a webinar with the chaps from Feedvisor. Shmuley, which you're going to meet in one of the later podcasts as well, which they are a repricing tool for Amazon, but they do something that what they do is completely in reverse. And what I would like to actually ask you is that underneath this podcast, there's going to be a link so that you can join us. It's only going to be about 30 minutes or so, and we only get 5 minutes each to talk. And my personal challenge to you, actually, and Dave, is that I've got 5 minutes to talk in this webinar. And how am I going to deliver amazing value to you in 5 minutes flat? And again, so you know us because you're listening to this podcast, but what about somebody who's never met me or never met Dave or UnderstandingE? How can I give you such overwhelming value that at the end of that podcast you think, oh my God, Matt knows his stuff, Dave knows his stuff, I must go and look at UnderstandingE. So that's my challenge. I've got 5 minutes to do it in. Going to be really good fun.
Yeah, no, that will be a good one. I'm looking forward to listening to that myself.
And that little note on amazing value, we're going to cover that off in a moment because we're going to give you an insight into how we work and how we see this year going as well. So we'll come back to that topic in a few moments. Mm-hmm. Oh, we had Scott Beveridge's podcast.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a fascinating one, just purely for the scale that he was working on. And he had 40 to 50 users. And that, when we say users, that's people actually touching the Magento admin section every day. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of members of staff who are handling one Magento system.
Indeed, and in multiple locations as well, because they've got like retail stores which are from like Aberdeen all the way down to London. That's just crazy. So that was a big insight for me as well. And again, if you haven't listened to Scott's podcast, at the top of the website, just click on blog, and then there's a little sublink that says listen to podcasts. Definitely worth listening to. We also spoke to numerous business owners which turn over literally millions of pounds on the marketplaces. And this is the scary thing, which is that some of these guys out there, and you might be one of them yourself, and you could be paying like the best part of like the minimum of 30 grand a year to the second generation software providers. And some of the guys which we've spoken to, they've done 60, 70. One guy was on 80, and another was way beyond 100 grand. So if you're in the United States, that's like $200,000, which they're paying software providers to sell onto eBay. So you can kind of guess the scale that we're up to. And it's being able to help these guys at that kind of level. And again, we can't do that right now. And we're playing the good guys, aren't we, Dave?
I think that's it. We don't want to get anyone on board with UnderstandingE under false pretenses, and we've just had to be open. I think in the next couple of weeks I've got to go see an ex sort of consultant client of mine who is a multi-million-pound business, and he has had enough of paying second generation prices.
It's a house,
especially after December. And yeah, that's the price of a house over a year. You could buy a lot of stock with £80,000.
Isn't that fucking house? It's just nuts.
Crazy.
It is nuts.
But getting back quickly on top of it is, I've got to say to him, right now at this stage, we're not quite ready for you just yet. Give us a couple of months and we'll hopefully be there.
But we'll find out when we get there. We also appear to have annoyed M2E Pro somewhere along the lines, and you'll find out maybe why in a moment. And they're not answering a few specific questions which we've had. Maybe because their support became very open, especially some of the stuff being said in the forums as well. It became transparent that some of the messaging wasn't consistent across different users from different tickets. And of course, those users spoke to each other. I saw what was going on and intervened in there. And I don't think they might have liked that being very much, but hey ho. Amazon has come up so many times this month, hasn't it, Dave?
It has. It's near every time I look in the forums, there's an Amazon discussion going on in there. And, it's something that right now we're avoiding on purpose, we hasten to add, because we know that M2E Pro are doing an eBay-style integration in the M2E Pro extension for Amazon. And they're hoping that it will be ready in around Q2 of this year.
Which is quite a way away, to be fair.
It's a few months away.
Indeed, and the reason why they might not like us is that I did make it a bit blatant, maybe a bit too blatant, that if it did starting to get a bit too expensive, that i.e. if they went over €300 a year, that we might want to focus on a different extension instead. And thinking out that aloud, that sounds like a bit like blackmail. It's put us into an awkward position. But I think in many ways that kind of says that we're thinking about you more than us on there, because I am willing to endanger a relationship just to make the point on this, is because this third generation needs to be inexpensive, and that's the kind of price point I would be happy with. And again, we don't know what the M2E Pro guys are going to be doing with Amazon. And if you are looking at this and you've just met us, then the key area for M2E Pro to improve on right now is that you cannot create multi-variation listings from Magento and send them via M2E Pro up to Amazon. There are other options out there, and Dave, I'm going to have to do that quick fix supplementary guide, so that you can use an Excel spreadsheet to import your products into Magme, but also at the same time create the Amazon import sheet as well. And I'll show you how to upload those direct to Amazon. So at least it's a temporary plaster for the interim, until we kind of know what's going on. And plus, we've got so much else to do. I personally know that M3 Pro works really well with Amazon, especially once the items have been created on there. But we want to be able to give you the whole package. And we've just hit the pause button on that for the time being.
What we have also seen is how some of the other software providers have changed their tack when it comes to Magento.
And we've seen from guys which have gone through the pre-sales process with a couple of the different providers is that the one thing which they can put their finger on is around the stock control and sync issues. And that's something which we're tackling head on with M2E Pro. Again, it's one of the topics they're being silent on at the moment, so we've gone a different route to make sure we do get the answer which we're looking for. And also, we know that just general good practice, if you are going to get down to a low number of products, that you might want to change your synchronization settings. And that was also part of the reason why we got the guide out for getting past the selling limits, because you can also employ that for limited stock levels too.
Yeah, no, I think a few have picked up on this supposed issue and are trying to run with it, because we actually ran a test in the background ourselves this week.
5 minutes, 43 seconds.
Yeah, totally debunked any issue that they were pretending existed. So, yeah, we're on that, and it'll be interesting to see what they can come up with next.
Indeed, bring it on. It's always good fun. I love these challenges, right? We also got a brief summary of the Easter Pro webinar, which they ran on their Magento integration, which basically said that they're not there yet, and Dave, maybe I should sell them my code for that.
You mean the code that you have, which is there yet?
Which is there, and it works, and it's done like £6 million worth in minimum. That was last year when I checked on it. It's done oodles for it, and it's highly flexible. Well, it was 400 or more hours of my time to put that into place. It was just I went off on a bender in coding, and it was just amazing. Oh, Channel Advisor, they include a reference in one of their white papers about international trade.
Yeah, that was unexpected. Was it you spotted all this traffic coming from a certain link?
Yeah, that was funny.
And it was a Channel Advisor white paper, and they'd referenced, was it an interview we had in the blog regarding selling on eBay internationally?
Yeah.
And there it was. We had a nice little hyperlink at the bottom of the page for UnderstandingE. So Matt decided to tell them and thank them for for their reference.
Yeah, and thank you for the users which registered from that as well, because I noticed the links were coming in and I put a nice little registration button at the bottom, and it works really well. And that's me just going, hello. But I did play fair and tell you, because I could have been quiet on that one, and I just enjoyed pointing and laughing, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they did go and change that link back a few hours later, but it lasted.
It was indeed. Right, so Dave, what's the story about this Real Business Future 50? Because if I'm honest, I thought you were taking a piss.
Yeah, no, this was so unexpected, and it all started. My dad actually sent me the email one evening back in December. It basically said, are you this type of business? Are you a young, disruptive startup? And I went, yes, and yes. Yes, we are. And he basically said, well, we want to hear from you. And I told you about it, Matt. And he said something like, yeah, let's do it for a laugh. So I spent about 15 minutes filling in these questions, asking, what the business did and what we envisaged doing, how we were disruptive and what we plan to achieve in 3 to 5 years. And I filled all these in. I mean, I'd like to think I'm quite good at writing, so I think I give it a pretty good description of what we're up to. And then, about a week ago now, 6 days ago, I got the email through saying, we would like to invite you as one of the key contenders to the Future 50 party down in London. And I told you, and you were just like, yeah, no, that sounds all right. And I just sort of sent you the image and went, no, Matt, no, listen. And you just went, what?
It was like, we now need to go to London. I've been doing my best not to leave Bristol. And again, just give you a heads up.
There's a big world out there, Matt.
There's a very big world out there, but we'll cover this in a few moments and what jab means. But my mind, the way which I'm focusing, and the same for Dave on this project, the whole UnderstandingE project, is that how can we, so that's me and Dave, deliver to you amazing value, so that when you press play on that video guide or you listen to this podcast, how can we give you amazing value, something which you're not going to get anywhere else? And I think that's kind of stands out from the guides which we've already created, but you wait till you hear what else we've got lined up. And coming back to the topic of London, yeah, London's fantastic. I love London, and I go to my favourite coffee shop, which I go to every time which I go there. Maybe that's why I'm talking so quick, because I've drunk so much coffee today. Anyway, back onto the topic. But the problem is with London is that we're a small business. There's 2 of us. Yeah. And we understand how valuable our time is, and we also understand how valuable your time is, and that goes back to jab. Anyway, for us to go to London is that you're talking an hour and a half for me to get there, an hour and a half to get back. You're talking 30 minutes for me to get to the train station, 30 minutes travel when we hit there. So that's like 2 hours, then 4, and then Dave, yours is a little bit more as well. Yeah. And it's always the equation is that, okay, we've got this number of working hours in the day. Are we going to spend 4 hours in travelling for that day? Maybe, and again, I'm thinking about this event again, so it's just me being so brutal for this, which is that, okay, that is a day gone. It doesn't matter what time of day this hookup is in London, but basically that's the whole day wasted. Even if I work on the train for it, I'm not doing it the best which I could do for you, which is listening. So, but I think this one, yeah, that's going to do it. It's going to be fun, and maybe I need to let my hair down a bit and go and chill out.
Yeah, I mean, we've been working pretty hard for the past 5 months or so. So I think, it's the end of February. By then, who knows what we'll come on to that in a minute. How what we plan on doing in February, and hopefully, if we're in good stead, then Matt won't feel guilty about missing a day down in London.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah,
I won't bank on it though.
I will feel guilty, but on the flip side, we've done some crazy hours this month to get stuff out. So.
And to be fair, usually when we go down to London, we try and tie in a few meetings while we're down there as well, so it's not entirely wasted.
Okay, so let's change topic to our both mine and Dave's idol. So one of our idols is a chap called Gary Vaynerchuk, and we went off to his book signing just before Christmas, and Gary launched a book, and I'm just leaning over to grab it because it's always on hand for me, and it's called Jab, 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 Right Hook. And Dave, can you tell us what this book means? And
Yeah, so, I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, Gary Vaynerchuk, fantastic entrepreneur. He's wrote 3 books now. And Jab, 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 Right Hook is his latest book. And that is referring to the world of social when it comes to businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes so much sense when you hear him talk about it and when you read this book, is that I go onto my Twitter and, I follow different businesses and different people, and 99 times out of 100, it's click this link and like this, or come buy my course here, or come and do this here. And those are right hooks. That is them asking for you to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what Gary's opinion on this is it's like boxing. Before you right hook, you should be jabbing. Your jab should be a staple of what you're doing. Now, a jab is the opposite. The jab is you offering content. It's not like what they can do for you. It's what can you do for them. And that's what a jab is. It's offering free advice, free content. What can we do for you to make your life easier?
Mm-hmm.
And then once we've done enough jabs, then we feel that, we then have the right to ask, oh, and by the way, can you now do this for us? And I think that is the basis of jab, 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 right hook. And yeah, it's incredible how many people don't follow that, and also how much success you see with the people who do follow that.
Indeed, and that's what we've done. I think for pretty much the entire month, we've just gone jab, 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 jab. And this is my mindset at the moment, is that it's not about me. It's not about Dave. The important person in this room is you. And how can we give you not just great value, but amazing value? Because, again, those of you which have listened to the earlier podcast, the one which we did just before the launch of UnderstandingE, is that this isn't about us. It is, but it isn't, as in that it's about you. How can we give you unbelievable value for you spending the time to listen to this? And this is why we're sharing Gary Vaynerchuk and Jab, 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 Right Hook, is because we think you can use that in your business as well. And again, looking back at this month, is that we've been releasing podcasts with business owners which have been sharing their tips and so who sell online with you as well, your peers and your partners out there. And we feel that it's just as important as me and Dave, is that you want to hear from the cool guys. I want to hear from the cool guys like you. And that's why we've been doing it. And this is why we've been making sure that we're spending as much time as possible on creating the basic content. So much so that we've got so behind with the business admin stuff. And
yeah, that's why we're a little bit behind in January regarding that side of things, is because literally you heard us mention it before. On New Year's Eve, we sat down and went, yeah, we better put a business plan together, because the past 4 months had been pretty much building the website, building the forums, and building the guides, and that is pretty much all we did.
And just on that topic as well, which is that this podcast is about our story, and it's us sharing it with you. And I popped an article up on the last drop of ink, which was the story behind how UnderstandingE got started. And the last reference was to Alice in Wonderland, peering down the rabbit hole and seeing where it goes. And the thing is that me and Dave, we've jumped down that rabbit hole. And what we're doing with UnderstandingE and with the training guides, etc., is only one part of the story. Our journey is also the part of UnderstandingE as well. And we want to share that with you too, because it's this personal side, which is, in fact, frankly, I care more about the personal side than the money side. And Dave knows that, to the kind of risk which I'll take with this. And on a personal level for me, Dave getting to California later on this year so he can be with his partner when she goes across to the United States, that's more important to me and my family. And I've managed to dodge that question this month, which is that, Matt, can we have a new boiler for the house? And again, that's that podcast which we did. You will know that we had the choice. Again, it's winter when we're recording this, and it's freaking cold out there. It was supposed to snow last night, and we don't have a working central heating system. But what we do have is a lovely warm computer, which is very capable of rendering full-blown HD in the realms of minutes rather than hours, which was what my old computer would have done. And again, that saved us a fortune, but I might have to bite the bullet. You'll find out next month if I have to cave in for a new central heating system. Right, so anyway, coming back onto the topic is that so following on from our idol, Gary Vaynerchuk, is that it's jab, jab, jab. So it's amazing value, amazing value, amazing value. Doesn't have the kind of same ring there, Dave.
No, it doesn't. No.
We just want to give, give, give so that when there is a hook which pops up, that it's a no-brainer. I'm not a salesperson. Dave's not a salesperson. We just want it to be almost like mustard that you just buy because you have faith in us that what we do make out there paid for, that you know that we can deliver upon. So jab, 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 hook all the way. But actually in our case, it's going to be jab times 10, 20 to make sure that you get amazing value and the little pieces which are paid for, that you just know that they're going to be brilliant and you know it's going to be worth that extra mile for it. So,
and just a quick shout out to Gary Vaynerchuk there. He called it jab, 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 right hook purely because his publisher wouldn't let him call it jab, 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 right hook. So we're not saying 3 jabs and a right hook. That's not how this works. It was, there's lots of jabs before we feel ready to hook.
Okay, so this is going to be an interesting one. This is something which I'd like to do in later podcasts as well as we progress over time with UnderstandingE, is that I'm going to ask Dave a question and Dave's going to ask me the same question. So, and that question is, Dave, what one thing do you think you could have done better?
I think a key one, looking back at, because obviously me and Matt have had different, not goals, but tasks to, that each have fallen under our sort of jurisdiction or ability, I should say. So for me, I think I should have been more organised, and not just in terms of creating the content with UE, although, a bit of structure there maybe would have helped, but also with,
just a bit,
maybe just a little bit. But also with the aspects of the business. And like I said, you business owners know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the admin side, it's the bank account. If I'd been a little bit more proactive beforehand, or been a little bit more aware of what we needed, then we may have been in a little bit more of a different position as we stand right now. But I think for me, I could have been a little bit more organised in terms of this. I mean, it's all new to me. I've never set up a business before, so it's been a hell of a learning curve. But I think that's probably a big one for me. What about you, Matt? What's the one thing that you could have done better?
I've actually got 3. Right,
okay, so what 3 things could you have done better?
Okay, now this is going to sound a bit wild, which is that I am a terrible procrastinator. I had to make sure that I said that properly, which is that I have a terrible ability, and I'm sure you may have it as well, which is that I put things off until later. And I really, looking back at this month, I have done absolute shed loads. We've done absolute shed loads. You've done absolute shed loads as well. But I really do wish that I had procrastinated less and that basically I had done more. And that's my challenge for next month, is to procrastinate less. And so the moment something comes in, I get it done, I get it actioned. And it goes through my internal filter of, is this actually important and do I need to do it now? Process a lot more quickly and more seamlessly. And the stuff which it goes through that process and gets spat out and put over there, that stuff which I put over there, I do that quicker. So that's number 1. Number 2, Dave, I wish I'd given you more this month as well. And I've been doing it today. Dave, can you do that? Dave, can you look at that for me? And
I think that is, for the past few years, Matt, you've been the Lone Ranger. I mean, you've been Matt Ogborn consultant, and you've just run the whole show. And now there's 2 of us. Granted, I am really limited as to what I can do with the cool stuff that you can build. Mm-hmm. But I can copy and paste like a demon.
Right, and you can research like a demon as well. Like, oh, there you go, Matt, you want that and you want that, and there's those flags.
Yeah, exactly. My history degree is paying off with the research. So, I can definitely do that. Yeah. But, bring it on. Give me more. Give me more of that stuff to do. I love it.
I believe it's because you're getting it. The other one may sound really weird, is that I really wish that I gave you more value this month. and this is me wholeheartedly talking here, is that the eyes are welling up. You have to cut that swear word out, Dave. Sorry. Which is that I wholly believe that if I can do my best, I mean like absolute best, is that will come through in anything and everything which we do. And that's the one reason why UnderstandingE will win long term, is because of one word, and that is passion. If you've got the passion to do something, and stop talking about me, let's think about you. So you're probably a small to medium sized business. Maybe you've got a massive business, but what makes your business is you. If you turn up at 9 o'clock in the morning and do your best, you have won. That's it. You cannot ask for anything more. And for me, it's all about just giving amazing value. And again, that's why I was concerned earlier about this webinar with FeedVisor, is that I've got 5 minutes to meet new people. And how can I give you and that new person, which I'm going to meet, amazing value, so they walk away and go, what the... You can fill in the rest for it. So anyway, Dave, let's change topic. Let's wrap this up. So what have we got planned for next month?
Okay, next month. Matt, you have set us a target of doubling the number of users that is currently on UnderstandingE.
Yeah, so as a entrepreneur, one streak of that is an aggressive streak. And I play a lot of games. I know how to grind, and I also know how to set myself targets. And sometimes they are so unrealistic, I'm going to swing for them anyway. So
you don't really want to know how. I'm not sure if we told you in another podcast how Matt got from 200 people to 1,000, but yeah, he likes his ambitious numbers.
Oh yeah, and we swung high on that one, and we still got that one to execute. So next month, I have a personal goal of doubling the number of users on UnderstandingE, and I'm not going to share with you how many users we got. It's not the level which I wanted it to be on day one, but I think, Dave, you're really surprised by the number of people which register every single day.
I'm surprised by how quickly it's going up in this past week alone. It's been crazy, and we have a plan of how to help get these numbers up, and I think it's totally doable. This isn't one of Matt's ridiculous targets where he's saying, let's get 1 million users next month. I've just given him an idea. No, put that back.
No, we're doing it now. Okay, next month we're going to treble the number of users. So, because you think it is easy, man. And if you're doing something and you think it's easy, then it ain't hard.
Did I say easy or did I say doable?
Okay. And just to give you a heads up, so
doable.
No, treble. So, and that's our serious goal for next month. We're going to treble the number of users. And do you know what? I'm going to do it one by one. Every single user. So, number one, if this is the first time you've listened to one of these podcasts, first of all, thank you for joining UnderstandingE. And that email which you got, within an hour or a couple of hours after, or maybe the morning after, saying thank you for joining. How did you find us? That's real. I typed that email to you, and I will type that email to every single person who joins UnderstandingE. And the reason for that is that I care about you and your business. And I think that's going to come out very, very transparently in some of more of the other stuff which we do as well.
Remember your point too, mate. You can forward some of those emails this way.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's point. So task for this month is to CC Dave in on user
Dave is going to be responding to all of the users.
Yes.
Okay, so anyway, back on topic.
Right, so
February.
Next month, we're going to treble the number of users. We are going to treble the number of page views on the site. Now, to give you an insight, UnderstandingE is not normal. We had a ridiculous amount of people turn up on day one. That didn't happen by accident. Nothing in this world happens by accident. It always happens on purpose. And again, just personal thing here as well is that the way which I look at stuff. If you turn up in the morning at 9 o'clock, that is 90% of the battle won. So all I need to do is turn up. And the other 10% is easy. So to give you an insight into UnderstandingE, As of today, there is over 44,000 page views on UnderstandingE. And again, that's a brand new website, brand new concept.
30 days.
In 30 days or less for it as well. So other things which we've got planned for this month. So number one, we've got to fix a couple of the pages on the site so you don't get caught in that annoying loop. I'm on it. I know it. I've just got to get some time to go and do it. What else have we got to do, Dave? We've got some podcasts to do and get published.
We have more podcasts to do. We actually have... we still have a bank of podcasts which have already been recorded with some fantastic content in them. And we have several more lined up waiting to be recorded. So yeah, we have plenty of podcasts to keep on coming. We also we really need to get a premium membership working.
Yeah, because basically without that, we're not going to last so much longer.
Well, that is the worry. That's the worrying thing. For the past 5 months, I've not been paid. We've been running this, bootstrapping it out of our own pockets, and really it has limited us in some aspects of what we could have done or what we could have sped up. And money will make things a little bit quicker for us to get to do some of the cool things.
Yeah, it didn't help with the email from Vimeo yesterday.
No, that definitely didn't help.
That wasn't the expense I was hoping for or planned for anywhere along the line. So. It was $238 out of pocket. Thanks, guys.
We're getting to the stage now where things are going to start getting more expensive. With 40,000 page views, how long is the host going to last before we need to up that? More podcasts in the library. Things are going to get expensive at some point, so we really do need to start covering our own. The accountant, he's going to want some money at some point. So yeah, we're now at the stage of a business where money is either going to stop us or it's going to rocket us to a new level. And one potential way that we can do that is through premium membership. And like I said, we're not just putting our begging bowl out here. We intend on giving you immense value for the premium membership. And we sincerely hope that you'll agree. And you'll find the premium membership is almost a no-brainer.
Indeed. We also need to launch the UnderstandingE store, which is actually on the site. Just need a few more tweaks for it. And we've scored a wicked relationship with Jim from Magento, and that's actually going to be integrated in there. And there's a few other providers which I'm in discussions with as well.
Got our own mini marketplace.
Mini marketplace. And
in the extension store there. And that will also have the UnderstandingE admin theme, which I know a lot of people have been asking about. And that will hopefully be ready in the next week.
Yeah, we've also got plans to show you and new people via a webinar how to go from no knowledge of Magento and be able to sell and process an order from eBay and Magento within 40 minutes. So everything which you took in bite-sized chunks in the guides, we're going to knock a webinar together where we'll show you from start, choose the domain name, all the way through to actually having the items listed on eBay, Dave purchasing it, and us shipping the order out. So it's quite a challenge.
That is going to be ambitious for 40 minutes, but...
Well, it's 40 minutes because I want it to be an hour long, but I want the other 20 minutes to be open for questions.
Q&As, but yeah.
Q&As. Again, it's deliver some amazing value and then, what questions you got? And go and talk to the real people. Go and speak to the cool people like you for it. So, also, we need to release the order management guides, and we've done quite a bit of that today, haven't we, Dave?
We have. We've knocked out about 3 or 4 videos today. And we know that these are the guys that you're waiting for. These are almost like the last piece for the multi-channel software part of Magento multi-channel. We've done the inventory, we've done M2E Pro, we've done the marketplaces, importing, variations, item specifics, blah, 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 blah. Order management is the only one that's left that, we need to do as part of phase 1 of UnderstandingE. And we are on it. We are on it.
Oh, so on it is unreal. So, and again, we've got kind of caught up with Magento tax settings, and it all got a bit nerdy. And wow, we got an import file for press that, job done.
Yeah.
There's all your tax rules for Europe. Oh, we got it for the United States as well.
Yeah, we've got the US as well. I personally went through every state of the USA looking at your your sales tax settings. So hopefully we've got those covered as well.
Mm-hmm.
We also got couriers to look at. You've got an answer for that, Matt, which is fantastic.
Oh yeah, raw mail, parcel force, DPD, all linked.
And interlink as well, yeah.
Yeah, and interlink, yeah.
Amazing. We also have Outsourcing the Right Way, and that is going to be a set of guides.
Oh, wow. Yeah, go on.
And we have a fantastic guy called Carlo out in the Philippines, top bloke. And you'll probably hear him in the podcast in February, because we have a mini series of podcasts that we're going to get Carlo on. Mm-hmm. Now, that could be ambitious to have that ready by the end of February.
No, it will be ready.
We like ambition, and I better say it's going to be ready, otherwise Matt will treble it or something.
Yeah. Right. So
yes, that'll be ready by the end of February.
Right. So just onto the topic of outsourcing, is that we do live in a world of a global economy, and I know certain businesses, and because I put the foundations in there for them to do it, and they've spent tens of thousands of pounds on outsourcing staff. Now, because we do live in a global economy, they're not paying UK minimum wage, they're paying decent wage for a different country, the Philippines being one of those. And they may have paid tens of thousands of pounds to external parties for their business, but how much money do you think they made by doing that? And I've got a really good idea how much one Pacific business is made from outsourcing. And it's for us, this is going to be us showing you the right way of doing it. And you wait till you meet Carlo, really cool guy. Really looking forward to that mini series, because I think it's going to give you amazing value. It's the jab of all jabs, I think.
Yeah, I think it's going to open, especially if you've never done it before, never considered it before, it will open your eyes to a whole new range of possibilities and affordable possibilities as well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We, again, just on a personal level, I would like to have got the website guides, at least the framework done for it. So to kind of give you a heads up, we've got the framework written, like the kind of like the high level overview to the guides to show you how to do cross-border trade properly with Magento and M2E Pro. We've got that framework in place. But I'd also like to get to the website side, because this really is a multi-channel system. And inadvertently, when you're adding your products into Magento, you are building a Magento website, and all it needs to do is look pretty. And I want to show you how you can make it pretty on a budget of like $100, 60 quid, whatever. It's just going to be so much of a no-brainer. And I'd like to get that framework in place so that me and Dave, we can hit the recorded button and... Yep. Let's be fair, like Dave, your start is noob, is non-nerd by the beginning.
Yeah.
You're going to be expert by the end of it.
And that's something that we've noticed, ever since September, is I came into UnderstandingE with, very limited idea of Magento and how it worked, and now I'm really comfortable with it. And, all I've done is create the guides which you're watching. I've got the same information that you've got access to, albeit I speak with Matt a little bit more in the day. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
But where there's a will, there's a way.
Exactly. And the thing is with the website guide is we know there's businesses out there who will charge £3,000 to £4,000 minimum for a very similar looking website that we are going to show you how to do for $100.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the Magento website as well. And this whole training guides. I get this email from this Magento training website. They want $1,500 for a day course.
Wow.
You have a laugh.
We'll do it for $14.99.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's unreal. So there's a lot of people holding a lot of knowledge out there, and we want to be the ones which are slapping you with the best content ever created and in plain English as possible. So, Dave, let's leave it there. Thank you from myself. And
yeah, thanks again for sticking with us through January, and thank you to all the new members, because, like I said, I do smile every time I see someone new register and say hello in the forum, so it's great to see you guys coming in and obviously finding it useful, and all the feedback as well so far. It's been amazing. We do read all your comments, and it's fantastic.
Absolutely. So all we can say really is thank you, and we'll see you in the next podcast. Cheerios! Sorry, you were going to say something.
No, I wasn't. Trust me, you don't want to know what I was going to say.
Fair enough. Catch you soon. Bye.
Bye.